Hello, my name is Zach Holtzclaw. I'm going to demonstrate today how to care for and raise chicks and chickens. So by the end of the speech, I want you to come away with a basic knowledge on how to raise and care for chickens and maybe do so yourself. So let's begin with the chicks. This is something called the brooder right here. This is where you're going to keep the chicks for the first 4 to 5 weeks of their life, depending on the breed. This is the thing we use to feed them. Just pop it open and then stick in the chick food, and it can actually feed a lot of chicks. And then here's the waterer. You got to be really careful when with chicks in the water, because they can actually drown in just an inch of water. So you got to be really careful with that. Watch them, especially the first couple days. A lot of people will put metal chains in the water to prevent them from drowning, so they can't get stuck in it, because they'll fall in and they won't be able to get out when they're just a couple days old. As far as the brooder goes, with space, chicks need a decent amount of space. 1 to 2 square feet is what we have found to be best. Some people have said as small as 6 square inches per bird. For instance, the book Raising Chickens for Dummies said that, and we found through experience that really doesn't work, because chicks, you can tell, need more space when they start pecking at each other trying to get room. You'll get bloody chickens if you're not too careful about it. So when you see them pecking at each other, try and get a bigger space for the brooder so the chickens will be less stressed. Let's see. There are plenty of foods out there. This is the Ranch Pro. This is what we use. There's all kinds. I'm telling you basically what we do, but a lot of people do different things. Just what we do with our resources. Don't pick up chicks the first week of their life unless you absolutely need to. So you take them out of the box, out of the egg, wherever you get them. You stick their beak in the water, and then you put them down. You don't want to touch them until they're about a week old after that, because they're actually really fragile, really small, so you want to be careful. They can easily die just from handling it too much. Since the chicks don't really have a mother, since you're taking them away, when you're getting them as chicks, you kind of have to act as their mother, and you have to really show care for them. Socializing chicks is also very important. After they're a week old, you want to try and socialize them as soon as possible, meaning put food in your hand, put it down there, let them get used to your hands, let them get used to humans. It's really important that you do so, because you don't want chickens to be stressed out when you walk in the coop. Later in life, the more stressed the chicken is, the worse it's going to lay. So you want to try and socialize them as soon as possible. Talk to them while you're feeding them. Talk to them while you're picking them up, so they get used to your voice. Associate your voice as the caregiver. The temperature on the brooder is very important. You want to keep it for the first week 95 degrees about, and then approximately 5 degrees less than that for every week. So week 1, 95, week 2, 90, week 3, 85, week 4, 80, and so on until week 4 or 5, depending on the chicken breed. And you want to move them to a larger area, such as the coop. And to keep them warm, what we use is a 250-watt light bulb in here. And this keeps the chicks really warm, really good heat source. That's just what we do, and I think it's actually one of the more common ones to do. So this works for us. Lots of other different ways to do it, but this is what we do. So that's basically all there is to chicks. You want to make sure that you keep this thing clean. Clean it out about once a week if you got a decent amount of chicks, because you don't want it to get too dirty. It's really unsanitary, unhealthy for the chicks. You don't want them to get sick. But other than that, I think that's pretty much for the chicks. Let's go and move on to the coop and the full-grown chickens. As you can see, we have plenty of room in here for the chickens. You want about 4 square feet per chicken inside the coop, and about 10 square feet out in the run, which is the outside area where chicks are allowed to roam around, fenced in and everything. Some people say different things, but what we found best is 4 square feet and then 10 square feet in the run. Just like in the brooder, it's important to keep temperature in here. You don't want it to get below freezing in the winter. You don't want it to get too hot in the summer. What we use in the winter are heat lamps right here. Stick 250-watt light bulbs in there, and we have 3 or 4 of them. We'll hang them down from the ceiling during the winter to keep them warm, and they'll get under there if they're too cold or anything. It really keeps the coop above freezing, which is what you want. And in the summer, we're gonna have a fan to blow, keep the airflow into the vents of the building and everything. Let's see. These are the nesting boxes. We have a little hinge system on them right here to lift up and down to make easy cleaning, so we can just lift it up and then clean them all the way out. It's real easy. This is where the chickens are going to be laying their eggs. You need to make sure that you have nesting boxes in the coop for them to lay. Those things shouldn't really go there. You have to make sure you have them. We have some more over there against that wall, and then we also have these over here, which are just egg crates screwed into the wall. It's a lot cheaper way to do it, so we have some bedding in there for them to lay eggs. They actually like those a lot. Hey, yeah.
How many nesting boxes do you need, like, per chicken?
Good question. Different people say different things. What we found best is about 2 to 3, or 1 box per 3 chickens. Is what we really found to be best. Some people say 2 if you're on the safe side, but really about 3 chickens per nesting box. So we have 21 nesting boxes, so we could potentially hold about 63 full-grown hens. They'll actually wait in line to lay an egg. If they have a preferred box, they'll do that. So let's see. The daily routine is real simple. They don't need much upkeep, not high hassle animals. Here are the 2 feeders that we use, and here's the 5-gallon water. Just make sure you refill that every day. It's real simple to take care of the chickens. That's just really the daily routine, is making sure they have food and water, make sure you got the eggs, and just don't let those things run out. We use this wood chip bedding. There's different types of bedding out there, but you want to use bedding. It's great for, it makes the cleaning out of the coop easier, and it insulates in the winter for warmth. Because it's important to keep the temperature in here right too. Here is the door that we actually made. We have attached to a pulley system. So in the morning we'll lift it up from the other side of the room, let them go outside, have their fun, you know. And they come in at night instinctually, and we shut the door just by the pulley system like that to ward off predators and everything, so the predators can't get into the actual coop. You got to be really careful with the predators because you don't want your chickens to die. And there's lots in Oklahoma. The ones we really have to worry about are snakes, owls, hawks, coyotes, stuff like that. We have a 6-foot fence out in our run that we use to keep the chickens in, keep them safe. Another way to keep off predators is putting sulfur around the coop. If an animal comes up there, they'll accidentally eat that or something, and they'll die. Especially, it's really good for snakes. Sulfur and mothballs work really well. Another thing we use for snakes is in each nesting box we put a golf ball. So the snake will come in here, he'll grab the golf ball instead of an egg, he'll take it outside, he'll kill himself trying to eat that golf ball. So that's one thing we use to keep the predators off. Lastly, really, there's not much else to raising chickens other than you have to make sure they're healthy, make sure they have all their nutrients and everything. If you see a hen or any chicken eating a feather, that's a sign of low calcium. So we've had that, and what we do is we put a calcium supplement in with their food. We'll mix it in, they'll eat it. Within a day or 2, you'll tell that they definitely won't be eating more feathers anymore. They'll feel better. And chickens need calcium to lay eggs, so it's very important. That's really all it is. It's the daily routine after you have it all set up. Feed them, make sure they have water and everything. Question?
Yes, when do you know, how old do they have to be before you separate them, before the big ones accept the small ones?
Gotcha. 4 to 5 weeks is how long they need to be in the brooder, but after you're 5 weeks old, a chicken's not going to be strong enough to ward off full-grown hens, so you really got to be careful. You can put them in their own living quarters until they're big enough, or you can, what we did is we put a fence right down the middle of the coop, had the adults on one side, had the chicks on the other until they were big enough, and they're big enough now to be able to defend themselves and not be beat up. Any more questions, anybody? Yes.
It's not a duck.
That is a duck. We do have one duck. He has a lot of self-identification problems. He kind of clucks like a chicken sometimes. It's really funny. But he is in fact a duck, not a chicken. Yes. All right. Thank you.